Free Japan Channel number 87. Today, 26th Saturday, July 2025. The time is at noon, so the sun is now at the highest in the heaven, in the sky. Dear listeners, how is your summer? Are you enjoying your summer? Here in Yokohama, summer breeze is coming through the window, and it is very refreshing. Of course, temperature is very high, so over 30 degrees Celsius. However, the wind is there. Very comfortable summer for me. Today's FGC topic is philosophy. What is existentialism? Existentialism is a school in philosophy, of course, Western philosophy. Perhaps you know the word existence. This means something is there, someone is there. This is existence, the known, and existentialism derives from this existence plus ism. This means we should focus on how human beings are, how human life is. This is the theme of existentialism in one word. The representative philosopher of this school is, of course, Jean-Paul Sartre, French philosopher who lived 20th century. His word, for example, existence precedes essence. This is very famous word which sums up existentialism. Existence precedes essence. Or we are all condemned. We are all condemned to be free. This is a bit mysterious word, but a famous existentialist word. We are all condemned to be free. According to Sartre, free or freedom is not itself a good word. Normally, we take it for granted that freedom is something good. Liberty is our basic need for human beings. However, when we are really free, when we get absolute liberty, is it really fortunate? Is it really good for human beings? This is a question that Jean-Paul Sartre raised, and his answer was very negative. We are totally at a loss when we are free, when we are really free. Rather, we would be happier when we are bound with something or somebody. If we were given the true liberty or complete freedom, we would be totally at a loss. We wouldn't know what to do next. Sartre was a philosopher who lived 20th century, and this era was colored by atheism. In the philosophical viewpoint, atheism was at first declared by German philosopher Nietzsche. God is dead. This is a very famous word of Nietzsche. It was end of 19th century, and in the 20th century, Heidegger preceded Sartre. Heidegger was also a German philosopher, and he is now very famous for his eminent work, Being and Time, in German, Sein und Zeit. This Being and Time book describes the existence of human beings in general. In this sense, Heidegger is also classified as an existentialist philosopher who preceded Sartre. According to Heidegger, people are always driven by the fear of death. Death is inevitable, unavoidable for all people, so people are always conscious of it. However, we cannot endure, we cannot tolerate to think about the death all the time. It is a burden for human beings. Therefore, in order to escape from this anxiety, we are likely to chat, for example. We are likely to enjoy something outside us, not inside us. This is a Heideggerian philosophy. Of course, Heidegger also depicted these people negatively. He called this man Das Mann in German. Das Mann means a man in English. So it's a bit difficult word to translate from German into English. Das is the neutral form, and man is a word which does not exist in colloquial German. This is a word which Heidegger made. And in this word, Das Mann, Heidegger wanted to express the existence of normal human beings who are lonely, who are very feared of something all the time, and who always avoid thinking about the most important thing in our life, namely death. Sartre also learned Heideggerian philosopher. Sartre studied in Berlin when he was young, and he could also read German philosophy in German language. Therefore, he was very influenced by Heideggerian philosophy. And in the philosophical history, Heidegger is also classified as the disciple of Edmund Husserl. Husserl was the founder of phenomenology, the school of phenomenology in 19th century, and Heidegger is said to be the disciple or direct disciple of Husserl. Therefore, when Sartre learned about Heideggerian philosophy, he also learned about phenomenology at the same time. It was a natural course for Sartre to pursue this Husserl-Heidegger lineage. The greatest point of Sartre was that he converted this phenomenology or existentialism into numerous novels and theaters. Sartre was, of course, a philosopher. At the same time, he was also novelist and dramatist. Therefore, Sartre was now very famous for his novels and theaters rather than for his philosophical writing. In these novels and theaters, Sartre described the person or people who are thrown away in the reality, According to Sartre, everyone is thrown away at this world, at the reality, without any reason, without any promise, without any destiny. We are only thrown away in this world. There's no reason why we are here, why we live this way. Therefore, as Heidegger said, Sartre also depicted the person or the people who are always afraid of something, who always fear somebody. However, we cannot put up with such fear, anxiety all the time. Therefore, we tend to look for exits from this anxiety and fear. However, there is no exit, there is no exit for us. This very negative description of human beings is typical of Sartre novels and theaters. There is no work of Sartre which describes the hilarious or positive aspect of human beings, always negative, always dark, and always no exit. Perhaps you may think why this dark philosophy was so popular in the 1960s or 70s. It's a very good question. The reason is that however dark it is, however dark the philosophy of Sartre was, it mapped out the reality of human beings. The reality of human beings is already very dark, is already very cruel, is very negative. Therefore, the philosophy also should be negative. This is Sartorian viewpoint. Of course, you don't have to agree with this negative perspective of existentialism. However, it would be instructive for you to be familiar with the idea of existentialism. If this broadcasting is useful for your understanding of existentialism, I'm very happy about it. Thank you.